Hi everyone, welcome to Easy Accounting. Those who are new here, we want them to know that Easy Accounting is the India's first voice-controlled ERP system and GST-enabled accounting software based on voice recognition technology. Moreover, there are many unique features implemented in Easy Accounting which you might have never seen before. It is so easy and simplified that anyone can access it whenever they want with mobile or computer from anywhere in the world. For more details, you can watch the videos in description. Now let's continue. In today's video, we will see how you can see the GST reports, GST R1, GST R2 and GST R3 in regular GST software and how to do the adjustment for duties and taxes ledgers and much more related to it. In regular GST software, you can see the predefined ledgers, CGST, SGST, IGST and GST paid under reverse charge. So when you create any sale or purchase related vouchers, then the balance of these ledgers are automatically updated. When you file your GST R3V return and you have the liability of GST tax, then you need to pay the GST tax liability. So for that we see the GST reports. You can automatically file your GST R1 return and for that you can watch the automatic GST filing video in description. You can also watch the create purchase video in description to know more about the reverse charge and GST paid under reverse charge ledger. Now first let's talk about the GST R1 report. In GST R1 report you can see the details of your sales and sale return to know about the total liability of GST tax for a particular period. So for that click on GST R1 option under GST reports. You can press Ctrl+1 or you can also say GST1, GST R1 dikhao, GST Report 1 or any one of these commands. GST Report 1. Now here select the date criteria. You can also use the voice commands date or month. Then click on go. Here you can see the GST R1 report in full details. You can also see the final report and this is HSN summary of items. You can see that the information is classified in deep details separately like B2B tax-wise, B2C tax-wise, sale returns registered, sale return unregistered, nil rated, exempted and non-GST supply for registered and unregistered dealers, etc. So this is the total taxable amount and this is the total GST tax liability for the particular period. You can view the voucher or can also modify or delete it. To print, email or download this GST report as Excel, come to your main window and use these buttons. Now let's talk about the GST R2 report. In GST R2 report you can see the details of your purchase and purchase return to know about the total ITC, that is GST input tax credit for a particular period. So for that click on GST R2 option under GST reports. You can press Ctrl+2 or you can also say GST2, GST R2 dikhao, GST Report 2 or any one of these commands. Now here select the date criteria. You can also use the voice commands date or month. Then click on go. Here you can see the GST R2 report in full details. You can also see the final report and this is HSN summary of items. You can see that the information is classified in deep details separately like B2B tax-wise, purchase return registered, reverse charge purchase, purchase from composite dealer, nil rated, exempted and non-GST inward supplies from registered and unregistered dealers, etc. So this is the total taxable amount and this is the total ITC for the particular period. You can view the voucher or can also modify or delete it. To print, email or download this GST report as Excel, come to your main window and use these buttons. Now let's talk about the GST R3V report. In GST R3V report you can see the details of all your GST tax related transactions to know whether you get the excess ITC or you will have to pay the liability of GST tax for a particular period. So for that click on GST R3V option under GST reports. You can press Ctrl+3 or you can also say GST3, GST R3V dikhao, GST Report 3 or any one of these commands. Now here select the date criteria. You can also use the voice commands date or month. Then click on go. Here you can see the GST R3V report. Here the tax amount in rows with plus sign means the liability and the tax amount in rows with minus sign means the ITC. So in the final report we can see the total tax liability and total ITC. Now here we can see whether we have the excess ITC or we have to pay the GST tax for the particular period. However, if you want to see the overall final report to know whether you will have to pay the GST tax or not while filing the GST R3V by using your previous ITC remaining, then select all in date criteria and click on go. Now here is the final result with calculations with your previous remaining ITC. You can match this amount with the sum of CGST, SGST and IGST. Also, the balance of CGST, SGST and IGST ledgers should be matched from the GST portal. So you will have to update the transactions in your book of accounts as per the adjustments and payments in the GST portal. So here in first case, if the sum of CGST, SGST and IGST is negative, it means you have the excess ITC. Then if all the three ledgers are negative or 0, then it's okay. You don't need to do anything. But suppose the CGST and SGST ledgers are positive, that is liability, and the IGST ledger is negative, that is ITC, but greater than CGST and SGST, then you will need to do the adjustment to set off the CGST and SGST from IGST in the GST portal, and for that you will have to create the journal entry with equal amount like this. First select CGST, here select IGST and enter the CGST amount to set off. Select the date as end of month. You can also enter the remarks adjustment of CGST with ITC. Now click on done.
Journal successfully created.
As you can see, the CGST tax is set off with the input tax in IGST. Similarly set off the SGST ledger. But remember that the adjustment amount for both CGST and SGST should be equal. Now you can see your remaining ITC after adjustment of tax liability. If you will correctly do the set off in GST portal, then this ledger balance of IGST will be matched with the GST portal. Now in another case, if the sum of CGST, SGST and IGST is positive, it means you have the GST tax liability and you will need to pay it in GST portal. So first adjust the balance of CGST, SGST and IGST to one ledger, duties and taxes. If you have not created duties and taxes ledger yet, then create it inside Create Ledger panel under Duties and Taxes group.
Ledger successfully created.
Now go to journal and make the balance of GST ledgers, that is CGST, SGST and IGST to 0. So if the closing balance of GST ledgers is positive, then select the ledger in first element and in second element select the ledger duties and taxes. Otherwise, if the closing balance of GST ledger is negative, then select the duties and taxes ledger in first element and in second element select the GST ledger. And in amount enter the balance of GST ledger to make it 0. Now select the date as end of month and click on done.
Journal successfully created.
Now when you have done this process with CGST, SGST and IGST, you can see that the tax liability showing in GST R3B is matching with the closing balance of tax ledgers. Also the balance of CGST, SGST and IGST is 0. So you will have to pay this tax amount while filing the GST R3B return. Now after the payment, update the payment transaction. So go to Create Payment panel. Here select the duties and taxes. Select the date as end of month. Now click on statutory payment to select it as pay to GST liability, and you can also enter the remarks payment of GST tax liability. Now enter this amount and click on done to pay the whole amount.
Payment successfully created.
Now you can see that in GST R3B the tax liability or ITC is 0. You can also see that the closing balance of tax ledgers are 0. If you will correctly do the set off in GST portal, then this ledger balance of CGST, SGST and IGST will be matched with the GST portal. So you can view the tax liability or ITC in your book of accounts without logging to GST portal. To print, email or download this GST report as Excel, you can use these buttons. That's it. Thanks for watching. और आखिरकार हम आपको बताना चाहते हैं कि अगर आप अपना ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट दैट इज सॉफ्टवेयर और वेब एप्लीकेशन को रियलिटी में डेवलप करवाना चाहते हैं तो आप हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं या फिर एप्लीकेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेज सकते हैं, क्योंकि हम आपको 100% सेटिस्फैक्शन गारंटी देते हैं। इसके साथ ही आप अपने प्रोजेक्ट का पेमेंट EMI दैट इज इजी मंथली इंस्टॉलमेंट में कर सकते हैं, वो भी 0% इंटरेस्ट के साथ। तो अब इंतजार किस बात का, ये टाइम आपकी ड्रीम को रियल लाइफ में बदलने का है।